Hey kids, so I'm super excited because this is my last video and I think it's something that you guys know really well. So it really shouldn't take too long to definitely explain. Again, feel free to pause, replay, whatever you need to do to get ready for your common assessments. Cool. Let's go ahead and move forward with motivations. Just a quick recap of why the United States decided to expand or imperialize in the beginning. So one of the major reasons is obviously militarily. The United States wants to definitely set up military bases around the United States for protection purposes, but also if there is a war that is ever declared against us, or if we decide to declare war against another country, it'd be a lot more useful for us to definitely check in to a little base that is near to the country that we are fighting against, rather than fly all the way back to the continental United States to, restock with supplies. Um, so Second motivation is definitely economic. Um, so we want more markets, new markets, and we want more raw materials. Even though the continental United States at this time is still, mostly agricultural, we don't have the natural climates that are necessarily needed to grow everything that we need. For example, sugar tends to grow in these like really tropical climates, which is why it's really great to have sugar in Hawaii and Cuba, in those little tropical areas. So here's an example of a sugar plantation in Hawaii that it would just be really nice to have Hawaii as a place these folks can buy our products, but we can also buy raw materials from them at a decent or low price. Um, Last but not least, another motivation is that social motivation. A lot of people felt like they were responsible for civilizing or educating those that were considered less fortunate or below them. So here you have, these quote unquote savages the United States are going to try to civilize so that they can reach this idea of civilization. Major events that are kind of covered underneath the idea of imperialism is the Spanish-American War that made Roosevelt very, very popular and allowed him to win his vice presidency. You have the annexation of Hawaii after Queen Liliuokalani is overthrown. Again, if you did the multiple choice, you should know that the Spanish-American War does happen right in between the overthrow and then the eventual annexation of Hawaii. You have the Panama Canal, where Roosevelt is again forcing his way after Colombia. You can see that this is Colombia because it's Bogota. Bogota is the capital city of Colombia. Colombia refuses to give Roosevelt the rights to build the canal, and so he tells Panamanians to rebel and that he would support them if they do. And after the Panamanians gain their independence, he's going to go ahead and force his way into building the canal. And last but not least, you have the open door policy, where the U.S. And Roosevelt especially is going to use a little bit more of his diplomatic skills to negotiate with other world powers at this time, Japan, Germany, Russia, and the UK, to share China rather than try to own China and colonize China, so that everybody kind of is able to freely trade with China. We're going to go ahead and look at Hawaii specifically because it does a really good example of kind of showing all three motivations as to why the United States should expand. Again, we had these major sugar plantations that weren't just, being worked by these native Hawaiians, but they were owned by American citizens like Sanford B. Dole. So Sanford B. Dole is going to be a major player, as well as the other plantation owners, because he's going to be convincing the United States that they should annex Hawaii. For him, it is a huge incentive for Hawaii to be its own territory, because if Hawaii is its own territory of the United States, that means he no longer has to pay those high tariffs. Another major reason is obviously social. So here you can see that like the United States, Liberty, Colombia, and all of their glories coming here to bring about peace to these beautiful, lovely Hawaiians. You can see, notice that that Uncle Sam has kicked up his boots, and this bald eagle is supporting the chair, and there's just a lot of Murica going on here, and how the Hawaiians seem to be appreciating all of this Americanness. And last but not least, you have these military motivations. Again, Hawaii is in a very central prime location next to Asia. So if we ever go to war with Asia, it is a good location to definitely be the starting off point, if not the checkoff point. And you see that that did work out fairly well for our advantage when we decided to do the island hopping technique in World War II. So we can start off here in Hawaii instead of starting all the way here, all the way off the screen in California. Um, and were able to hop to all these central islands. We also owned Guam, so after the Spanish-American War, we got Guam. We had some territories in the Philippines as well. So again, really, really key areas for us to definitely go hop into some of these other areas if and when we did engage in war with Asia. United States in World War One, the United States plays a major role. I'm just going to go ahead and show you what I want you to do actually is I want you to pause the screen and read the following passage because I think it does a way better job than I could have ever done to explain like really our role in World War One. So go ahead and read this. Press pause here because I'm going to move forward and you're going to lose it. So press pause here, read this, and it should help you out and figure out what was our role during World War One. Last but not least, I'm going to go ahead and move on to Henry Cabot Lodge. Henry Cabot Lodge is going to be a major American senator for a number of different reasons. He's going to be somebody who will really, really push for us to go into the Spanish-American War. He's somebody who does believe in the political, naval, and military reasons why helping out Cuba, as well as the possibility of annexing the Philippines, Guam, and Puerto Rico will really have on the United States. So he's going to be a major supporter and a major reason why we do get involved with the Spanish-American War. Again, he is going to be somebody who's in support of annexing the Philippine Islands. So here we have a book. I just stole this off Google. A book that he writes to definitely say that we need to keep the Philippine Islands. Again, for those sole purposes of this idea here, if we engage in war, look how awesome it is to just have a base in Guam and the Philippines when we engage in war with Japan. He does believe, and he is going to be a major person that initiates or really pushes us into that world power position. He ultimately is going to play a major role, especially in that transition into the Roaring Twenties, as he's going to be somebody who will be in largely unsupportive of the idea of the League of Nations. He does kind of support this idea that the League of Nations is going to bind us all into agreements that we don't really want to do, or into engagements that we don't really want to be involved with. And so he is going to be a major supporter that we should not join in the League of Nations, and he is successful in that engagement. And he's also going to be here. Here he is. He's a little bit older now, but here he is. He's also going to be a major player in really kind of pushing for Warren G. Harding to become our next president during the 1920s. And they do often have similar philosophies. Again, Lodge didn't really want to engage himself or engage the United States in the League of Nations, and Harding was somebody who really pushed for us to, again, return to normalcy. So together, they did have a lot of similar philosophies on where they felt like the United States was moving towards. And that kind of covers imperialism in the Roaring Twenties. Imperialism. Again, if you have any questions, please raise your hand, or if you missed anything, please definitely replay several times to catch all the bits and pieces that you missed. And to be sure to definitely catch, what role did the U.S. really play in World War One, to definitely understand like what was our role there. Okay. Again, if you have any questions, raise your hand. If not, wish you the best of luck, and I shall see you all probably right now because you're probably watching this in class. All right. See you guys later. Bye.